Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. I'm David.
I'm Stefan.
And today we're going to be looking at all the multicolored artifact and land cards in Core Set 2019.
We're gonna evaluate them for limited, draft or sealed, like your upcoming pre-release where you get 6 packs of a core set.
Yeah, we're going to be evaluating them according to our 3-tiered system. Tier 1, these are the unconditional removal, our bombs, winning. These are the cards that can be winning us the game. Tier 2, really good cards, pushes into a color. Tier 3 cards are our filler cards. We use them where necessary, and the rest of the cards we're going to put those aside. That's it, so let's have a look at the common cards. We're going to start out the commons with a cycle of lands, and these are allied paired lands, similar to guild gates that we've had in the past. The first one is Meandering River, which comes in tapped but gives us either a white or a blue mana. Submerged Boneyard, which is the same, but this one taps for a blue or a black. Then we have Cinder Barrens, which gives us a black or a red. Timber Gorge, which gives us a red or a green. Tranquil Expanse, which gives us a green or a white. Forsaken Sanctuary, which gives us a white or a black. Foul Orchard, which gives us a black or a green. And Woodland Stream, which gives us a green or a blue. Highland Lake, which gives us a blue or red. And finally, Stone Quarry, which gives us a red or a white. Now, all of these are Tier 2, which means they're auto-include if you are in those 2 colors.
Yeah, it just makes everything just a bit more consistent, the colors you needed.
Yeah, and it's not so bad adding a few tapped lands into your deck. That won't matter.
No, exactly. And for me, it makes me easier to play more colors. Explosive Apparatus, 1 mana artifact, 3 and tap, sacrifice Explosive Apparatus, it deals 2 damage to any target. Tier 3, it isn't really that good, 4 mana, 2 damage, but if you need removal and you don't have anything, this is what you're using.
Exactly. Field Creeper is next for 2 mana. It's a 2/1. Yes, you could use this if you are in multiple colors. You want to make sure you got a 2-drop, but it's really bad. So please just put it aside and try to make another 2-drop work.
It will be really sad if you don't have anything better.
Yeah.
So the next one, Model Orders X. 2 mana, artifact equipment. Equip creature gets +2/+0, and equip cost is 2. I actually like this one because putting it down for 2 mana isn't that bad. If 2 mana equipping it, also not. And 2 power is still a lot. It isn't really that exciting, so for me a filler card. But still, having this option is actually pretty good.
Yeah, see if you can put this in there, especially if you got some evasion creatures. Sky Scanner for 3 is a 1/1 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, draws a card. So it's a 1/1 with evasion that replaced itself, but I just don't think that's enough. Because in the end, what are you really doing? You've got a 1/1 flyer.
Not much.
No, not doing anything.
Monolith, 3 mana artifact, tap to add 1 color and 1 mana of any color. Like we always say, we suggest you playing 2 colors, which means you don't really need this.
No.
So just don't play it, put it aside.
And the last of the commons is Gearsmith Guardian for 5. We get a 3/5, but if we control a blue creature, it's actually going to be a 5/5 creature. Well, still filler, because even if you have no blue creatures, a 3/5, 4/5 mana is still acceptable. We'll still do stuff. As we already said, we're happy with 2 4s for 4, so having a little bit of a bump in power and toughness for that extra mana is quite acceptable, so don't feel bad about using this as a filler card.
And if you have a blue creature, this makes it so much better.
Absolutely. Those are the commons. Let's have a look at the uncommons.
You start the commons off with a land, Reliquary Tower, and it says that you don't have a maximum hand size and can tap to add a colorless. It doesn't come in tapped, which is nice. For 2 colors, having a colorless land isn't that bad, but the extra clause, no maximum hand size, won't be relevant at all. So you can put it in as just in case, but I don't think you really need
Maybe you
it.
should just put it aside.
Yeah, maybe
just put it aside, because how often do you have too many cards in hand and limited?
That's true. Maybe you don't want to play.
No, you want to have your colors.
Exactly, but you don't and you don't want to like not play cards. So you always.
Oh, that, yeah, no, completely irrelevant. Put it aside.
No, exactly.
Rupture Spire is next. It comes in tapped and gives us mana of any color, but we do need to pay 1 mana, otherwise we have to sacrifice it when it comes in. So I think this is a fine filler. Kind of works like a Guild Gate, you know, comes in tapped. You do need to you can't put it on turn 1 because you won't have enough mana to pay for it. So it sets you back a little bit. But if you're going for those 3 colors, then this is definitely a card that you want to include. Otherwise, it's okay, filler.
Yeah. It doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Fountain of Renewal, 1 mana artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. 3 mana, sacrifice Fountain of Renewal, draw a card. Just put it aside. The incidental life gain isn't really that interesting, and then you have to pay so much mana for a card. Just play something else.
It's bad. Suspicious Bookcase is next for 2. It's a 0/4 defender. Now, we don't like that. We always say 0/4s or 0/3s or whatever. Whenever it's got 0 power, just don't play it. However, this one's got pay 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Now, that makes it a little bit more interesting because that means that early we can block stuff with it, and late game it still does something because then all of a sudden it's making our biggest stuff unblockable, and that is nothing to sniff at. So I would say for a measly investment of 2 mana, tier 3, filler card.
Yeah, making something unblockable on a big butt is really nice. Millstone, 2 mana artifact for 2 and a tap. Target player puts the top 2 cards of the library into their graveyard. Don't play this, don't try to mill people out, just no, put it aside.
Yeah. Diamond Mare is next for 2 mana, a 1/3, so that's okay. We're okay playing that. When it enters the battlefield, we choose a color, and then whenever we cast a spell of the chosen color, we gain 1 life. Okay, not really relevant. Point is, still, if you're in, if you don't have a good 2-drop, a 0/3 is fine. A 0/3, a 1/3 is fine.
Rogue's Gloves, 2 mana artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card, which is really nice. But equip costs 2 and it doesn't pump anything and it doesn't give evasion, so it just makes it all really difficult, so just put it aside.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to get this to work. Gargoyle Sentinel is next for 3. We get a 3/3 Gargoyle with Defender, but we can pay 3 mana to have it lose Defender and get flying instead. I think the investment of 3 mana every single turn for it to be able to attack with evasion is a bit too high, so I want to put this one aside.
Yeah. Arcane Encyclopedia, 3 mana artifact, 3 tap, draw a card. Per side, it comes in on turn 3 or 4, doesn't do anything. Then you have to keep on using 3 mana, which is actually a lot, to draw a card. I don't think it's gonna be enough.
No. Satyr Enchanter is next for 1, a green and a white. We get a 2/2, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Now, usually our enchantments are most commonly in the auras department. We don't want to be playing too many auras, so actually the body and power is also not good enough, so just put this one aside. It's just not good in any respect.
Enigma Drake, 1 blue and a red. It's a X4 and Drake with flying. Enigma Drake's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. It will be 1, 2, maybe 3 at one point. But I think for 3 mana, a 0/4 can block anything in the air, anything on the ground, and it just, as the game progresses, be better and better and better. And I think that's pretty good for any card. Yeah. But still, you won't be playing that much instant sorcery, so it's gonna be iffy, and that's why tier 3 good filler.
Yeah, I think it's like, for me, I'm a little bit less excited about it. I think max is gonna be a 2/4 in the air, which I think is okay for that price. Draconic Disciple is next for 1, a red and a green. We get a 2/2, and it also taps for mana of any color, which is nice. And we can also pay 7 mana, tap it, and sacrifice it to create a 5/5 a red dragon creature token. Now, this is fine filler. The body's a little bit behind curve. It does ramp us, though, and later on, it is a mana sink to give us something, which, as we know, 5/5 flyer wins games, so I do think that it has a role in every point of the game, so I would say tier 3.
Yeah, the body isn't that bad for the cost. It's below curve, but still, all in all, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Aerial Engineer, 2, a white and a blue, a 2/4 human artificer, which is already pretty decent. And as long as you control an artifact, Aerial Engineer has +2/+0 and flying. That upside really makes it so good, but still you're not gonna think that you're gonna have it, so without it, it's still tier 3.
Still just a filler. Remember, 4 mana, 2/4. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
Skyrider Patrol for 2, a green and a blue. So for 4 mana, it's a 2/3 flyer. Okay, I'm very happy with that. That's going to be doing a lot of work. At the beginning of combat on our turn, we can pay a green and a blue. And then when we do, we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature we control. And that creature gains flying until the end on top of that. So the counter stays. And it's got flying to the end of the turn. So that is going to be huge. Tier 2, this is auto-include. You got a couple of these, then you're looking to see if you can make blue and green work.
Yeah, I think I want to make blue and green work, even with only one of them, because this ability is so strong.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Heroic Reinforcements, 2 red and a white. Sorcery, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. On the end of turn, creatures you control gain +1/+1, and haste end of turn. It's just 2 1/1s makes 2 2/2s that gains haste. It doesn't really do enough at all. So just put it aside.
It's just a bad card.
It's just a bad card.
Don't try and make this one work. It's absolutely terrible. Brawl Bash Ogre for 2, a black and a red. So for 4 mana, we got a 3/3 Ogre Warrior. I'm happy with that power and toughness already. It's also got Menace. Bam, that brings it over the edge. Now all of a sudden it's dealing tons of damage. And whenever it attacks, we may sacrifice another creature, give it +2/+2 to the end of turn. Now remember, this is not going to come as a surprise to your opponent because you do it when it attacks and not after the declare blocker phase. So they're going to know how big it is before they choose how to block. But still, you may put them in an awkward situation if you've got stuff to sacrifice. However, I think that probably in most of the cases that's not going to be the case. You're just going to be using it as a 3/3 menace 4/4, which is just spiffy.
Yeah, it's good enough on its own. And it can get even better, so yeah, tier 2. Poison Tip Archer, 2, a black and a green, a 2/3 elf archer with reach and dead touch. And whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. All good things. Tier 2. I want to play this.
Yeah, this is really one of my favorites of this cycle. This one is super nice. The reach, the death touch, the losing of life when the creatures die. Not only your creatures but your opponent's creatures too. It does everything. Regal Bloodlord for 3, a white and a black. So for 5 mana we got a 2/4 flyer. Happy with that. Nice. Beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, create a 1/1 black creature token with flying. Might not happen. Doesn't matter. For 5 mana, 2/4 flyer, that's fine. That's good. Blocks all days and also attacks well.
Yeah, so pretty good. Psychic Symbiont. 4, a blue and a black. A 3/3 Nightmare Horror with flying, which is already pretty decent. And when he enters the battlefield, target opponent discard a card and you draw a card. So it does a lot of things, and I think because it does so many things, I think I want to put it in tier 2. Because it has flying, decent body, discard a card, drawing a card, all things you want.
Yeah, solid. Very solid. Meteor Golem is the last of the uncommons. For 7 mana, it's a 3/3, so the body's not great. But when it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. So that's great.
That's
removal,
insane.
Unconditional removal on a stick. That's tier 1. You got a body. And on top of that, you're also killing the very best thing. Destroying the very best thing.
Yeah.
Super good. That is it for the uncommons. Let's have a look at the rares. The first of our rares is Detection Tower. It taps for a colorless mana, but we can also pay a mana and tap it to make sure that creatures that our opponents control with hexproof can be targeted by our stuff. Now you may think, hey, that's handy, but when you realize how few hexproof creatures there are in this set, I would rather just have a land that gives us a color. So I would put this one aside.
I think that was only the mare, right?
Yeah.
Amulet of Safekeeping. 2 mana artifact. Whenever you become the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter the spell ability unless the controller pays 1. It's not gonna be relevant. And creature token is -1, -0, which also not gonna be relevant. So just put it aside.
Yeah, very situational card. Speaking of situational, Desecrated Tomb for 3 is an artifact that states that whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 black creature token with flying. So it's not even when they enter, but when they leave. So that's super situational. So that's never going to happen. Just put it aside.
Dragon's Horde. 3 mana artifact. Whenever Dragon Hordes enter battlefield under your control, put a gold counter on Dragon's Horde. Move a gold, tap it to move a gold counter from Dragon's Horde to draw a card. That's actually pretty okay, drawing a card. And tap to add 1 mana of any color. And that's like Mana Lit, not really relevant, which means that this is the same with Mana Lit, except you can also draw a card with it, only one card, and still not enough to
But when? Only when you play a dragon, which you're not going to be playing. So
that's true.
Not really relevant.
Yeah, so
it's just Mana Lit.
Put it aside.
You don't want Mana Lit, you don't want this either. Magistrate's Scepter is next for 3. It's going to tap and pay 4 mana to put a charge counter on it, and we can also tap it and remove 3 charge counters to take an extra turn. Now this is going to be monster a lot of hoops that you got to jump over, because first, turn 3, let's say earliest, you play this. Then turn 4, using up all your mana to put a counter. Turn 5, you're doing the same. Turn 6, you're doing the same. Then only on turn 7 can you remove all the counters to take an extra turn. And that means that you were doing from turn 3 to turn 7, you didn't do anything.
No, and it just such a turn. It just
Hogger.
Yeah, hogger.
So you're wait. That's from turn 3. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're giving up. Let's say you get that turn from 7.
Well,
So at least you're losing 4 turns for one extra
exactly.
turn you're getting.
You're losing 4 turns, and
that's terrible.
No,
don't do that. Don't do that. Put it away.
Chaos Wand, 3 mana artifact, 4 tap. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, and then put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way at the bottom of the library in a random order. This is really cool, and I always want to play this because when you're playing something, it's most likely removal of some sort. So, and if it's a sorcery, you can still play it immediately on instant speed. I actually really want to do this because most likely you're gonna get removal.
Yeah, people are playing their instant and sorceries that they play unlimited are going to be removal spells. So in essence, what this says is every single turn that you don't have something better to do, we're paying 4 mana, tapping it, and then using our opponent's removal against them.
Which means they won't be able to play it anymore.
Yeah, solid. And it doesn't cost us a card.
Yeah.
Solid. Transmogrifying Wand costs 3 mana, and it enters with 3 charge counters, and every turn we can pay 1 mana and tap it to remove a charge counter from this thing, destroy target creature, and then give them a Pillar Field Ox, a 2/4. Now 2/4s are quite decent, so we're only going to use this if they have something better than that. But the fact we can use it 3 times is pretty sweet, and once it's on the battlefield, it only costs us 1 mana. Keep it open. We can do it instant speed. I'm very happy with that. I would include it as a filler card. Would I always include it? No, because there's better removal out there. If I don't have better removal, this is a fine substitute removal spell.
What I also think is interesting is that you can make your own creatures into a Pillar Field Ox. Sure. When you attack with something small, and then you can make it something bigger to block.
When they attack into you, you mean, yeah.
Sigiled Sword of Felon, 3 mana, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance and is a knight in addition to its other types. And whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance that is attacking. That is insane. Equip costs 3. So equipping is actually a bit more expensive. Costing is a bit more expensive. But the effect is so good. I would play this. This will win you the game. Put it on something small. Put it on something big. It boosts power. It boosts it gives vigilance, and you just get more and more creatures. Yeah. Every single time.
And we know how powerful it is when you have a card that continuously increases to grow or continues to grow your board state. Yeah. Solid.
Tier 2. Always want to play this.
Yes, tier 2. Those are the rares. Let's have a look at the mythics.
Our first mythic is Crucible of Worlds. 3 mana artifact. You may play land cards from your graveyard. How many lands will we have in our graveyard? Most likely 0. Which means it's not gonna do anything. So just put it aside.
Yeah, too bad, huh?
It is too bad because it's a really cool card.
It's a cool card.
Commander or something.
Commander, yeah, exactly. Next up is the granddaddy himself, Nicol Bolas, the Ravager, before he got his spark. For 1, a blue, a black, and a red. So for 4 mana, we got a 4/4 flyer that when it enters the battlefield also makes each opponent discard a card. That's sweet. Card disadvantage right there built on top of it. Plus, on top of that, late game, we can pay 4, a blue, a black, and a red. So 7 mana. Exile this guy and then return it back to the battlefield flipped under our control. We can only do this as a sorcery though, so not instant speed. But when it flips, it becomes a Planeswalker, Nicol Bolas, the Arisen, 7 loyalty. Insane. The +2 is draw 2 cards, so then you're already at 9. loyalty. This thing's not going anywhere. The -3 is dealing 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker, so that kills everything. The -4 is put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So that's anybody. So that's also insane. It could do all of these or any of these coming in. Huh? And additionally, the final one, the ultimate, -12, exile all but the bottom of target player's library, bottom card. So basically that means that they've got one turn and then they're dead. This is tier 1, early. If you play this on turn 4, you're winning the game. If you play this late, you're winning the game. It is absolutely ridiculous. We always say only play 2 colors, but if you got this, you might want to play 3 colors because it is seriously that powerful.
It is so powerful and so cool. And as we're gonna see with the rest of Mythics, these are all 3 colors. So next one, Arcadis, the strategist, 1 green, a white, and a blue. A 3/5 Elder Dragon with flying and with vigilance. That's already really, really good. 3/5 with flying and vigilance. Nothing's gonna kill this in the air. And whenever a creature with defender enters the battlefield and you control, draw a card. Okay, irrelevant. Each creature you control with defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power and can attack as though it didn't have defender. This is so sad because the rest isn't relevant, isn't gonna do anything for you, but still.
In limited, it's gonna be doing tons of work.
4 mana,
regardless
3/5
of the other
flying
stuff.
vigilance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's gonna win games either way.
For sure, because you can attack and block with it.
Yeah, tier 1.
Palladia Morse the Ruiner for 3, a red, a green, and a white. So for 6 mana, we got a 6/6 flying vigilance trampler. Tier 1 right there, we said it, it's done. And it also has hexproof as if it hasn't dealt damage yet. So you get at least 1 free attacking before they can even use the removal. That's if they have the removal. And if they don't have the removal, they are so incredibly dead. Ah, so powerful.
Yeah, tier 1, so good. Victus, Asmadi the Dire. 3 black, red, and a green. 6/6 legendary Elder Dragon with flying. Already really, really good. Whenever it attacks, for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. The player sacrifices those permanents. Each player who sacrifices a permanent this way reveals the top card of the library, put it on the battlefield if it is a permanent. Which means it just stays on the top. But this means whenever it attacks, it is removal. You don't have to do it. You can also sacrifice your smaller things to get another permanent. Maybe not the best thing to do, but
just
still.
kill their opponent's stuff.
Exactly,
right?
kill opponent's stuff.
Attack and kill and flying and 6/6. Yeah. Ridiculous.
It would be sad though if you would kill something of the opponent and they also get a bomb.
Yeah, but unlikely. Especially if you're already targeting their bomb. Then the last of the Mythics and also the very last card in this set, Chromium the Mutable for 4, a white, a blue, and a black. So for 7 mana, we get a 7/7 flyer, which can't be countered and has flash. So we're going to cast this in as a surprise. And additionally, we can discard a card, and then this guy is going to become a 1/1 human with no abilities, but it will have hexproof, and it won't be able to be blocked this turn. So essentially what we can do is, as long as we've got another land or card in our hand, we don't mind losing, this thing is immune from removal, and that is super, super powerful.
It is really good, because they can't get rid of it anymore.
Now, so just make sure that you always have 1 card left in your hand, and then you're winning, you won the game.
Yeah, because after you play this, I don't think you want to play anything else anyway. No. Anyways.
Just hold on to those cards to keep on making it hexproof.
Tier
Super
1.
powerful. Ah, so nice, so nice. That is the last of them. Let's have a look at the conclusion.
In conclusion, we have all those multicolored lands, which are always good, and the artifacts. I'm a bit mad. I like actually the equipments. Equipments are pretty good.
Equipments are okay, not to be compared with Dominaria.
No, but still. And we have the multicolors, which most of the times are always good. So yeah, they are.
But also again, less good than in the last sets, I think.
Not sure.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Because they were always, the multicolored pretty much always auto includes, and here we had a bunch that were just tier 3.
That's true. But still, and I think also in general, this set, I think I like it, but I was more excited before we reviewed it than I am now. I think I was more excited in the beginning.
Yeah,
before
it's
we
the
saw
burden
all the
of
cards.
knowledge. Because what happens is when you before you review all the cards, you just see the snippets. And what do people show you? They only show you this rare, this mythic. But once you look at the set holistically, when you look at all the commons and uncommons, and let's be honest, that is going to be the bread and butter of your decks. We know that this set just doesn't have the cards that allow you really to shine. And I think it's not the set's fault, because it's a core set. They're grabbing cards from all out throughout Magic history. The flavor is all over the place. The art is all over the place. You cannot expect to have a very strong emotional connection to that, which of course what you have with, for example, Dominaria, with the story, with the art. And in this case, it's got all this mixed up stuff, and the only thing that would really push it through is really powerful cards. But once again, you can't put in only powerful cards, because you need to have good cards, you need to have bad cards. So in essence, I think that it's doing the best that it can, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun to draft. I just don't think that I could be as excited about it as I was for example, Dominaria.
Exactly.
Or even Ixalan for that matter.
That's true. But still, I'm gonna look forward to the pre-release.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone else is.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know what colors are you going to be looking forward to playing. Also, when the pre-release is, let us know what decks you built, how you did, what your best pull was. We're very curious, and to do that, you have to join us on the social medias at Budget MTG Decks on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And just talk to us there and let us know how things went. Also, head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/budgetmtgdecks, where you can support the channel and help us make more videos. We'd really appreciate that. And of course, we also really appreciate all our current patrons, which make these videos possible and make sure that they can be free for everybody else. And also, finally, subscribe to us here for the most powerful decks and advice everyone can afford. When you're here on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, and also hit that bell button, because then you'll be part of the notification crew, and then you'll get a notification when a new video comes out. That is it for all the cards in Core Set 2019. Thank you for joining us. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. I'm David.
I'm Stefan.
This is Budget MTG Decks.